In honor of Black History Month and it being Valentine's Day, Black America, Black people, I want you to know that I love you. I love you, Black man. I love you, Black woman. And I love you because when I see you, I see me. And not only when I see you, I see me, but I see every generation that's inside of me. And with each generation that's within me, I desire nothing more for you than to be prosperous, to continue to be beautiful, to be light, to be healed, to excel in every dream and every goal that you have. I see the best, and I believe that together that we can experience the best. This is why this conversation, this dialogue with you is so important to me. Urging you, explaining to you, discussing with you why Black wealth matters. You see, we don't have a lot of time here. We live for only so much amount of time, and the life that we live is only in a shift. And by the time that our life ends, someone else has to come in and carry the torch and lead the charge so that we can become and do all the things that we have been destined to do. For that reason, this conversation is so important. Black people, we have to synchronize our minds. We have to come on one accord at least once, at least one time in our lives, and do something that has absolutely nothing to do with us, but everything to do with us. I need your help. We need your help. We need your effort. We need your work ethic. We need your heart. We need your empathy. Because if we don't fix the problems of our community, like I know all of us can, like I know all of us are capable of doing, we are just serving daily life to our own demise. And I can't be a part of that. I can't just sit here quietly and idly by and not say anything. Know that we're on a trajectory to trauma, to more trauma and tragedy, and not have a desire to just say, hold the fuck up for 1 second. Let's turn this boat around. Let's go and let's do and let's be better than we actually are. But I know why we have a hard time coming together. It's because we have a lot of resentment towards each other. These different family relationships that have been broken up because of these ancestral cycles of betrayal. It's ancestral. It's not just your mom hurting you. It's their mom hurting them. It's their father hurting them. It's these broken bondages, these broken relationships, and poor communication, poor articulation of what's realistically going on. We hide things so easily, and we try to sweep things underneath the rug until we can't ignore it anymore. That's what keeps us divided. It keeps us divided because elders don't want to admit wrongdoings. Not only do they not want to admit wrongdoings, but they justify it by saying I'm older. Like being older is you makes you a better version of yourself, or it justifies you hurting or causing trauma or causing pain because you have undealt with trauma or pain. And it doesn't. It doesn't make you any better. It doesn't make you any wiser. It just makes you an old, broken individual. And if we don't start having these honest conversations about the generational brokenness that's within our families, it's going to hinder us from being able to actually come together and actually do things that's going to empower our community. Not only have these generational cycles of betrayal occur, but it's also created years and years of distrust. So we don't trust each other. We act like white people. When another Black person walks into a space, we get nervous from being around Black people until we talk to them, and then we realize that we have something in common. So we have to have these open discussions so that we can start to rebuild trust, rebuild communication. We also have to address the ingrained psychological traumas that impact us all. We are all impacted by psychological trauma. We are all impacted by post-traumatic slave syndrome. And even if you feel like There are no more slaves on this earth. It doesn't matter if there's no more slaves. If you're still in bondage to bitterness, if you're still in bondage to shame, if you're still in bondage to condemnation, if you're still in bondage to these feelings, these generational cycles, these psychological traumas that have been passed down from generation to generation, and you are the slave and you have been traumatized. Epigenetics proves that the environment that we are birthed in can mortify our DNA and traumatize us even in the womb. You don't know what the hell happened prior to you getting to earth. You wasn't here to even talk about it, but the worst thing before that is that parents aren't even talking about it. Black parents aren't even talking about what happened before then. Why was it that we were birthed into these broken situations, or what circumstances were surrounded by, because we want to protect what happened or forget the past. But you can't forget the past if you still responding out of that broken place. You just making decisions out of brokenness. That's why we have to look at our history. We have to look at what happened in chattel slavery, black codes, Jim Crow, and even segregation, all these things that caused us to get to a place of brokenness, so we can mend relationships, so we can heal from past and post traumas. As a result, I'm calling for us to be more empathetic. We need more empathy, more than anything else, to be able to see something from someone else's perspective, from someone else's shoes, more specifically the black communities, the black family shoes. I believe that we should pardon each other. We should forgive each other. Because if you were in that particular individual's position and you had experienced the same things that they had experienced, then you probably would have made the same decisions that they made. And it wasn't that they was trying to hurt you. They was just thinking about how they were hurt, trying to protect themselves. And we are all selfish. We are all trying to find a way to protect ourselves. But just being realistic about it, being honest about it, having that honest conversation, saying that I made this decision, but I didn't know. I didn't have all the information. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I was fearful. I was hurt. I was traumatized. Whatever it is, it's okay. It's okay that you felt that way. It's okay that you did what you did. No, it's not okay that it hurt me. But at least I know why you did it, because you went through it yourself. Only hurt people can hurt people. A lot of us have been physically, mentally, emotionally abused. It doesn't make it right. It's just the truth. Let's deal with the truth. The truth is that we've all been hurt. The truth is that we all have problems. The truth is that it's not enough churches and there's not enough therapists in the black communities to help us heal from this trauma. And even though we are navigating on a day-to-day basis, just because we're older and we're getting wiser doesn't mean that we're actually growing from the pain. Sometimes it just means that we have found a different way to cope with it. Building our black communities isn't just a financial issue. Building our communities is a lack of trust issue. It's a lack of healthy family relationships issue. It's a division mindset and a loss of family alliances issue. So while you spend this day spreading love to your loved one, love your family members. Forgive your family members. We need each other. That's the only way that we're going to get out of this hole that we in. This is the only way that we're going to be able to actually build something that will outlive us. Die to yourself. Kill yourself. That antithetical consciousness, kill that off, because it's not going to help you levitate.